A very good evening to all of you. Let us understand our journey about knowing how to do agile planning and estimation. Okay. So, as per yesterday's recording, Gaurav is working on this. This slide. So I'll go to the next one. So, how do we do agile planning and estimation? Okay, we have been learning that agile is super great. It is useful. It is absolutely great at delivering. It has, very good results. But then, how does all that happen? Okay, so can everyone see this image? It is basically an example of utilizing vision as a tool or vision as a method or process. When we say we are going from simplest to the from the daily routine to the ultimate goal that we have, the simplest way to capture. Okay, so vision is something that everybody has, or everybody at least aspires to have. Like, for example, if you all know Ratan Tata ji, right? The one who, we lost him last year, I suppose. So that person, along with being an entrepreneur, had a vision of, uh, you know, helping the society, helping the underprivileged, or doing something for the society, right? So this is something that everyone generally has. So your vision might be something that, you know you want to build a bigger house, or you want to give very good amenities or very good life to your kids, or have, or do something for your community or for your society or something like that, right? It can be anything, or that you have aspired, or maybe you might have aspired to become someone. Like, maybe right now you are a corporate employee, but corporate employee, but you want to become a singer, or you become a dancer, or you want to become an artist. See, it can be anything and everything, right? So, but in this particular topic, we are thinking it from the corporate angle. Okay, vision from a corporate angle. So let us understand what all it takes to reach to your vision or to achieve your vision. So let me enlarge this image for you. Is it readable to all of you right now?
Yes,
Yes. Is it
Yeah.
visible and readable?
yes, yes,
Okay. So now, in this oval kind of shape, there are five layers which are mentioned. Okay, I'll call them as layer in different colors. So I want someone to start from here, and then another person till the top. Just go ahead one by one, please.
daily planning,
Mm-hmm. Next.
iteration planning, release
Okay,
planning,
next.
release planning, product roadmap, product vision.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So here, if you could see, we are starting on a very, very simpler and easier way. Like, it's a daily plan. So what are we starting with? Like, as everybody knows, what happens in daily planning. Yesterday, Gaurav had been revising that in detail. So, what daily planning? When I say daily planning, that also can be related, or can be utilized for stand-up meetings, right? Because you actually share your daily updates in stand-up meetings, and you give these three details. So, what are these three details? Geeta, can you read it out, please, as you have read this?
What did I do
What,
yesterday? What
what did
will I do today? And what is
Okay.
blocking me?
Okay, okay. So in daily planning, what we focus on is on the daily deliverables. Okay, everybody understand deliverables? So yesterday, what I worked on, so maybe yesterday, which kind of functionality or what work I have finished. Today, what I am planning to do, and in case if there are any road blockages or any doubts, any confusion, any problems I have, I can share that with the existing group. So this is the way how I operate on daily level. Like, if you ask me, day-to-day work in Agile will look like this. Yes, yes. Any doubts in this? We have already covered this and we are very much aware about this stand-up meeting daily practice. Okay. So let us go to iteration planning. Okay. Iteration here stands for sprint. Like, we call sprint as an iteration of time. Iteration means something that is repeatable and it keeps repeating itself. It is an ongoing thing. Like every week is an iteration. Okay. Every month is an iteration. Not every month. Week is a better example. A year is an iteration, right? It keeps repeating itself one by one by one. That way. So, can I request someone to read out what happens in iteration? Yes, here. Anyone?
Stories, tasks,
Uh-huh. Can
definition.
you be a little louder, please?
Stories, tasks,
Mhm.
definition of
Right.
done, level of effort, and commitment.
Yes. So, thank you so much, Aparna. So, what happens is, in each sprint, our focus is on these things. So, what are these things? So first of all, stories means here user stories. So, which is the like or which all user stories are we covering in this sprint or in this iteration? Okay, what is that? What are the tasks involved in that? What is our definition of done? What is our definition of done means? When can we strongly and convincingly say that okay, we have completed our work? Okay. In short, it means when my entire deliverables are completed. Completed means there are no known or unknown bugs. There is no functionality that is still pending. There is no scope creep. There is nothing that will stop me from deploying or delivering that to the customer. Okay. So there is no there are no half baked cakes. Everything is completed. So it's just like how when we were kids. Okay, just try to go back to your golden days, like how we were kids, and maybe like in a primary school where you could write a little bit and you could read a little bit and you were studying at home, and your parents, especially your mother, had asked you to do something like maybe write ABC or something like that, and then she goes about her work, and after some time she comes and asks you, Have you finished writing?" Okay, just imagine or visualize this. And as a toddler, as a kid, you just say yes. Okay. But when she opens your book or when she checks your book, you have not done complete. You have not written everything. Maybe from A to Z is not completed. This is a very simple, funny, and very, I would say, uh, relatable example. But in real life, it doesn't work like that. There will no, I mean, there will not be any direct review, though there are reviews happening. But then, as a Scrum team member, as a responsible, experienced, seasoned professional, it is your utmost duty to deliver. Okay. You have to be on top of your game. That is what they call it. So basically, it just shows your dedication, your commitment, your skill set, your behavior, your professional approach towards work. Hence, whichever user story, whichever development work, whichever requirement we are working as a team in that particular iteration or that particular sprint needs to be completed fully. Everybody with me on this? Please, I need yes, no, something, some
Yes,
responses.
yes, yes.
Yes.
Prerna.
Yes. Is it relatable? Like it can be like your school project during your school days. It can be your college assignment during your. Have you, by any chance, submitted any assignments which was not completed, and then you got lesser, marks or lesser, I would say, grades for that? Tell me. Tell me, as per your experience, or you tried by by hook or a crook or by whatever reasons you tried to finish that assignment and then submit it. What did you do, or what should be your approach, even as a student or in the real life? What would be your approach? Is it a hard question? Like you have an assignment. Imagine you're in college, you have an assignment. So how will you submit that? Complete in complete state or in incomplete state?
Complete state.
Complete state.
Complete.
Okay. And may I ask why?
Professor
Because
Why
will
do you
ask
want to
question.
complete?
Professor
that
will ask question if you're not completed.
because
Sorry.
you are accountable to what
Yeah.
we a- asked, and you are accountable
Okay.
to you for
Yes,
everything.
that is one way to look at it. And isn't it that your grades are dependent on that? Your ranking is dependent on that?
Yeah,
You're right,
Yes.
so you will be checked. I mean, you as in your marks will be checked on those grounds, yes or no, right?
Yes.
So that will reflect on your result sheet indirectly or directly, right? That will also define your, I would say, even in a way, relationship with the teacher. I mean, not in a negative way, but if you complete every work or assignment, so you definitely come into good books, right?
yeah,
So, and all that in a way matters, in behavioral pattern, because you're still in developing age and mentally, socially, study wise, right? So, see, these are basic human behavioral patterns. So it doesn't mean that when we are working in a professional setup, we have to become robots or we are AI. No, we're humans. We are very much with emotions. We are very much with our feelings. We are very much with our virtues and principles. And that is what Agile stands for. Trust me. If anyone asks you what is the main difference of Agile, so along with all the characteristics, the focus is always on ensuring giving best quality. Guys, I'm getting some disturbance. I'll request all of you to go on mute, please. Everyone who is not on mute, please go on mute. Because there's some sound that is coming and it will come in the recording as well. Yeah, thank you. Okay. So iteration planning, and by the way, this as we definition of done and level of efforts and commitment. So it shows your commitment. It shows your efforts that you're putting in any kind of work, right? Many a times, like I don't know, I have references of maybe Bollywood movies or even in Hollywood. You see a particular movie, like for example, imagine our heroes or the leads team is not so, I would say, it is not the best team that they have, or whatever, they're playing soccer or cricket, whatever, and they are playing, but they really give their best shot and still they lose. Okay. So when you give your best shot and still you lose, what you get, you have not won, but what you get respect, you get recognition, and you get appreciation for your efforts. Yes or no?
yes,
Yes. You might not get a trophy, but yes, I like to give a typical Bollywood but good reference here. Is anyone of you have seen the movie Chak De by Shah Rukh Khan?
yeah,
Yes.
Prerna.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
So do you remember that particular part where Shah Rukh Khan actually is ready to play a game between Indian men's hockey team and Indian women's hockey team? You
Yeah,
remember that
Yeah.
part? And
Yes.
in that part, the women's team, it was in a way predetermined, but they still fight and they play really well, but they lose. And what is the reaction when they lose? What happens when they lose? This is for everyone. So it's
Yeah.
it's a very
Then
good scene. Yeah. So apparently, see, it's men versus women, right? Especially in sports. But then they still give a good fight. They try their best, and they lose by very, I would say, very minimum margin. But then when they lose, they gain respect. All the coaches from the men's team, all the audience, all the management committee, everybody actually gives them a standing ovation, right? So I'm coming to that point. So your effort, see, in professional setup also, results are absolutely important. But your, even if you don't put efforts, will you get result? Tell me yes or no.
no, you won't get.
no.
You won't, right? Same way. So that is why always remember, especially in our presentation, in our study material, the choice of words is very important. In Guru schools, we focus on that a lot. So here, that's why we have chosen this image where it says level of effort and commitment, right? Because what you do on daily basis, what are your habits, that ultimately results in your final result. That can be success or failure. Okay. Give me a second. It is raining cats and dogs. I need to close my windows and I hope the network stays well. I mean, my Wi-Fi. Yes. We are not sure these are pre-monsoons, monsoons, or just nature playing some games with us. But it just rains crazily sometimes out of nowhere. Okay. So next is we have done with daily planning, then iteration planning, and next is release planning. Okay. Now, as we know, iteration is your sprint, your your every very similar or shorter duration release, shorter duration delivery. Now, release is something that is a lot bigger than the iteration. For example, when you complete all your iteration and your product is finished developing, then you a product or website or web application, whatever you're working on, then you release that product to your customer. Okay, like for example, if you are if you're an artist or if you are maybe a painter or something, and you have given a contract or you have asked a website development company to develop a website, and where all your images, all your sorry paintings will be showcased and users can view them, users can buy them, right? So once that entire website is ready and it is given to you, that would be called as release. Everybody with me on this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So what happens in release? Can I request someone else who has not yet read? Can you read what is
Yeah,
mentioned in
I
release?
will I will read for the releases.
Yeah.
So releases
Okay.
is its date, theme, feature set, objective, development approach.
Okay. May I correct you? That is product roadmap.
Oh,
Release is
sorry.
just below that. No.
Below
No.
iteration one, yeah. So iteration,
Yeah.
I got
Mm-hmm.
confused with this word release over on there. Yeah,
Okay.
iteration,
No
team
worries.
capacity, stories, priority, size, estimates, definition of done.
Yes. So what it says is, thank you so much, Risha, for it. So what it says is, in release planning, our iteration is complete. It should be completed. Our team's capacity must be utilized fully. All the user stories, priority wise, size wise, must be completed. All the estimates that we had given that should have been appropriate, and definition of done. That simply means when we say a particular work is completed, that means it has to be completed fully. Again, there should not be any ifs and buts. There should not be anything pending. There should not be any known unknown bugs. There should not be any functionality that is not yet is not yet completed, or it is halfly done. Okay, so this is your release, and I always remember release is pretty big. Like how we have release every Friday for movies, same way, like you can utilize this term in IT very proudly, very happily that we also have a release, though it is not as happy all the time like a movie release. Generally, a development team or Scrum team is kind of under pressure, because it is like you are delivering a baby in a way that you're giving your work to your customer. So you want it to be smooth, you want it to be as seamless as possible. There should not be any problems. That is called as a release. And trust me, it's a big day when it happens. Okay. Now we'll go to product roadmap. Everyone here understands the concept or the term roadmap. Yes or no?
Yes.
Roadmap, when we say, what is a roadmap? Please tell me.
It's the
What do you
path.
understand?
It's a path or the direction.
Okay, path or direction, very well. So generally, when we use a roadmap or maps in our daily life,
When we need to reach a destination or reach some place, the roadmap will be helpful, or to achieve any goal in the life also. Roadmap will be useful.
very well.
It
Geeta,
helps
thank you
in
so much.
navigation.
Sorry, Aparna, can you be louder, please?
It helps in navigation.
Yes. So I think this is done. We can go to the next point. Thank you so much, Aparna and Geeta. Absolutely on point. So I'll just like to add one word to it. So what you said, to achieve something, to reach somewhere. So yes, we use Google Maps on daily basis to reach to a destination which you might have not traveled, or even to a destination which you are aware but you want to know the path. So same way, using this methodology or using this concept on our product, that allows us to reach to the level at which the product we want it to be developed. Like for example, I'll give you absolutely simplest example. Everybody here uses Facebook, yes or no?
Yes.
Yes, Prerna.
Yes.
Yes, everyone. Is there anyone who has not seen Facebook or who is not aware of Facebook? No, right? Okay. So any idea when Facebook was launched? Any idea? Okay. So it was apparently launched in Feb 2004. Okay. Now my question is, when did you start using Facebook? Any idea? I think I did in 2009 or 10.
Yeah, same 2009.
Doesn't
I did
Yeah.
2010.
Yeah, roughly around, because that time earlier we had a very idiotically strange website called Orkut.
Orkut.
I'm not sure you have used it. It was, I mean, now it gives me cringe, but yeah, it was very, what to be called? It was very famous, or honestly, it was, very active that time. So yes,
Yeah.
Facebook, when we started using, give me a very simple answer. That Facebook and today's Facebook, what we see and use, is it same or different?
It's different.
Yeah, it's
Different.
improved a lot.
It's an improvised version
It's
now.
different,
Yes.
improvised.
Yeah.
So I clearly remember, first of all, I did not like Facebook for a very long time because everything was open in Facebook. Like in Orkut, if you send a message to someone, it was a one-to-one private message. But in Facebook, you write on somebody's wall. Like, if I write a message, the entire universe or entire world can see it. So I was like, where is the privacy? This was my first question. I didn't know that there was messaging, or maybe it was introduced later. So there were some few very funny, very idiotic features that we had. Again, first of all, you could search friends. Absolutely. You can add a friend. Yes. You can write on wall, and then you could poke a friend. You remember? Poking was an option. I do not know why on earth they had it. Trust me. It still gives me a weird feeling why they had a poke option. And you could upload some images, and you could like and comment on pictures, maybe. Yes or no?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Have I summarized the features, or anybody is aware of any further features? Please help me out. When Facebook was launched. Okay. Any other feature you remember, guys? If you okay, updating your profile picture was one. Yeah, you can add and update your profile picture, create albums. Yes. Anything, or maybe you used to get those daily messages, uh, something like that. Okay. Today, trust me, now I'm not a regular user on Facebook. But today, when I look at Facebook, it is just full of so many functionalities and features. Like you can create a poll, you can create a page for your business. You can actually do online business over there. You can raise funds. You can go have Facebook Live. You can have video calling. You can have, I do not know what. You can have everything. Earlier, there were so many games, those were on Facebook. Yes or no? Yes. So can we count the functionalities that are offered by Facebook right now? Can you? I can't.
No.
No. But can we imagine? Can we say there are too many functionalities?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes, Prerna.
So do we realize that what Facebook was apparently maybe 17 or 18 years back, and what it has today, it had its own roadmap which it followed, or which it's still following, and it reached over here. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. So that was my, example for the roadmap. So what all features we have in roadmap? Can someone read it, please?
Release, date, theme, feature
Mm.
set, objective, development approach.
Yes. So here, can you see this main feature set? So that is what we have. Like, for example, imagine, like 30, 40 odd years back, your parents built a house in the village, like, maybe a second home or maybe an ancestor home. They rebuild the house. And when you were young, you said, okay, I'll build, a bigger house when I become older or when I start earning. So then when you become older and when you start earning and you still have inclination towards that house, you go and you rebuild or maybe renovate that house again with better features. Yes, that is a roadmap. Yes or no?
Yes.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. Now, coming to the last point, that is product vision. See, I'm giving absolutely a lot of time on this because it's a very important topic and it covers all other, estimation types or techniques. So it's good if we spend good amount of time here. So product vision is, again, when I say vision, like, like the one and only person comes to me is Ratan Tata ji. I mean, I absolutely love that, personality. He was one of the greatest human beings that we were, fortunate to see and experience in our life. So, so vision, though he was an industrialist, his vision was so much towards the society for the betterment of society, right? Same way, maybe you have your own business, maybe you have your own bakery. Your vision can be to become the biggest bakery in town or in the city, right? It can be anything and everything. If you're a student, your vision could be to become an astronaut, right? So it can be anything that you want to achieve in a longer term, and that for that you're working on. Okay. So from organization point of view, what are the points that we should remember for product vision? Yes, can you please tell me the details mentioned next to product vision? Yes, anyone?
What,
What,
who,
who,
why,
what,
when,
on,
constraints, and assumptions.
Yes, absolutely right. So basically, what are we planning? Who is planning that? Why are we planning? When will be it completed? What are the constraints that we have, and what are the assumptions that we are going ahead with? So that is for product vision. So again, product roadmap example of Facebook can be used for product vision. That or also very simple example. Everybody uses MS Office, like when this PPT is on MS Office, right? Microsoft Office Suite. Yes, everybody uses that.
Yes.
So do you remember how Word document that we use, Word doc, it was when we started using, and how simple it was, and now today it is so advanced, like you can embed thing, you can actually embed videos, you can have so much functionality, right? So same way that, and by the way, MS Office is also a product. So the team at Microsoft is relentlessly working on its development. Okay. So we have understood this. Now let us read the text mentioned. There are only 2 points. Can I request one person to read both the points, please? Go ahead.
The simplest way to capture your vision is to use the elevator pitch format from Geoffrey Moore's template from Crossing the Chance. For target customer, who, statement of the need or opportunity, the product name is a product category, that key benefit, compelling reason to buy. Unlike primary competitive alternative, our product statement of primary differentiation.
Yes. So now Mr. Jeffrey Moore has given us a template, crossing of it states that it gives us guidelines. Okay. So for whom we are doing this, for whom we are creating the vision, for the target customer. Okay. What is the vision, or sorry, who is the or who are the people who will be benefiting for it, or who is getting the benefit? That is statement of the need or opportunity. That means basically what are we trying to bank upon, or what are we trying to achieve from this, that is your opportunity. The is the name of the product or product category that you have. Maybe if you're a shampoo manufacturing organization, then that, or maybe if you're a application manufacturing, like Microsoft or Google or Oracle, then it could be that. So basically, these are the examples wherein, give me a second, wherein we work on something that will progress or that will develop in further life, or further, I would say, as our organization grow, or as we grow, it will keep growing, it will keep evolving, it will keep changing. That is the roadmap that we look at. Okay, as per the examples we have discussed, like Facebook, or MS Office Suite, or any typical application, or any games, right? People who love gaming here, they might be able to answer it well, that earlier how the games were, how the what do you call them, animations, or all the features used to, and now how the gamings look, it looks very real life. So that kind of scenario I'm talking about. Okay, give me a second. So this is what, when we say who. Now next is
The product.
that, yeah, so the product, so that, but product is whatever we are working on, that time I think we were discussing. Then that means, what is the benefit? Okay, what will you get if you use our product than the competitor? So that you have to highlight. So maybe if you're a shampoo manufacturing company, you'll say you'll get shinier hair, you get healthier roots, you'll get thicker hair and whatnot. That can be your USP, it can be anything. And then what is the benefit that you're getting from buying that, and what is the benefit which you will not get from a competition if you buy the similar products from our competition. Okay, there would not be that particular benefit. So it has to be your USP. And then ultimately how our product shines, that you have to mention, differentiation of the product. So how it actually uh, stands out in market, and how it does well in the market. Yes, what is
Yes.
unique feature. So I think we have given a lot of time on this, and it will cover some of the further slides. So here we just discussed what was the roadmap, right? And I actually got answers from you. So give me a second, let me break this for you. So there are these 3 points. I think we can just brush through them, and I'll request someone or 3 different people to read it one by one, so we can cover this or understand this in detail.
Okay. With the vision published and accepted by all, the roadmap will serve as the next building block to ensure alignment to the original vision.
Mm-hmm. So give me a moment. I'll just explain this. So when we have a vision that is published and accepted by all, so maybe what Facebook used to see today, or we use today, that vision was already developed long back, or that vision was there. Well, I'm not saying it was developed. It was anticipated, or it was planned for that. Okay, we will reach to this stage, and it was accepted by all. So it was not only created, but it was agreed upon by everyone. And the planning and on the implementation had started long back. So slowly and steadily they reached to where today Facebook is. And it was in alignment with the organization's vision. So Mark Zuckerberg had, or maybe his awesome team, or all the talented engineers and developers had envisioned that long time back, and then they started working, and today they have reached on that. Okay, so try to associate an example with this. Next point. Yes, next point.
This roadmap is meant to be used as a tool to organize high-level pieces of the product.
So in short, this simply means that this roadmap allows us or helps us to create the best quality product. It can be anything. It can be from a t-shirt to a shampoo to application software, anything. So it will help us to create that. Okay. Next point.
These can be
Next and last point.
these can be a
Mhm.
business feature and or architectural components that must be understood in the terms of their value and dependencies.
Very well. Now, this is a very important and very good line. What it says is, see, uh, understanding from the technical or the professional side of it, okay, if Facebook was not developed the way it was, like very simple with the blue theme or with whatever features, okay. Imagine if they never had features of uploading pictures and images or videos, they wouldn't have come to this level, right? Now we can share albums, you can hide and you can share with everyone, and you can also have Facebook Live. So what are we trying to say? We are saying that it goes step by step, like how a baby is born and it has milestones every month and maybe every year, right? Was they barely can see and do anything, then they start to have a better vision, then they start to move their body, then they start to roll, and everything, then they start to crawl. The same way, our product roadmap or our product development, it also has its own roadmap, and also has its architectural components, right? So when I give an example of Microsoft Word or MS Office Suite, all those earlier development years were pivotal, were important to come to this stage. So it's as simple as that. If you did not learn 1 plus 1 is equal to 2 or table of 2, you wouldn't have come to the calculus or the extreme difficult mathematics. Yes or no? Yes or no, guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So the foundation and step-by-step approach helps you to develop. It shows you what are the dependencies, and it allows you to reach to higher results. Yes, everybody agrees on this?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, I just happened to see the time. Let me check if score is there. Yes, Gaurav is there. Gaurav, would you like to continue from the next slide?
Sure, sure.
Can you hear me?
Yes, yes,
Yeah?
very much. I hope I am audible
Okay.
as well.
Actually, Gaurav, give me a second. We have actually kind of like, can I take this one, because I've explained this earlier in the first slide. We
Yeah,
went
yeah, go
super
ahead.
deep in first slide. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Sure.
Yeah. So guys, release, right? Release. We we actually understood in detail when we said that, okay, once entire amount of work or all entire product is developed or it is covered, then we can give the release to the customer. Yes, you remember? Everybody with me remembers?
Yes.
We just discussed release. Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So let us understand from this example, and then we can see this diagram. It is very simple. It is a typical iconic diagram which allows us what is the entire process covered in software development lifecycle, SDLC. Yeah. So can I request someone to read the 2 points? Go ahead.
Instead
These 2
of
points. Yeah.
writing, okay, instead of
Mm-hmm.
writing detailed requirements for the entire roadmap, this next level of planning only focuses on the upcoming release, which corresponds to a quarter or whatever
Mm-hmm.
dimension used in your roadmap.
Okay. Give me a second. Now, this entire statement simply means if you are a student and you have, say, instead of semester, you have quarterly exams. Okay, you have 4 exams instead of 2 semesters. So, in the first quarter, will you study for entire year or you will study only for that quarter? Give me
Only
an
for
answer,
that
please.
quarter.
That's
For
good.
that quarter.
For that quarter, right? For the next exam, the next quarter, maybe, right? And the next same, and maybe in the final, you might have the entire topic, or maybe that quarter. So, same way we are saying that when we start to work on a release, we focus on that upcoming release only. Like if tomorrow you have a maths paper, so mostly unless you have studied maths pretty well and you have done with your revision, then only you might go to other topic. other subject. But if tomorrow you have maths paper, then you would probably or most definitely study maths only today. Yes, because that's the upcoming thing that you have in your plate. The same way we work on the upcoming release, we correspond, that can be in a quarter, that can be as per your roadmap, it can be as per the product, vision. Yes. Next sentence, please.
The goal of the release
Yes.
is to produce a backlog of work that is represented by a list of user stories that are estimated, prioritized, and ordered.
Yes, thank you so much for reading it out. It simply means in this current release, we work on PBIs, that is product backlog items, which were already prioritized, which are already ordered, and which were already estimated. When I say prioritize, that means highest priority being on the top. When I say order, means you have to go in order, because in development also you have some dependencies. The classic example that I generally tend to give is, for accessing your bank account, the first step would be, for accessing any account online, the first step is, what is the first step?
Login.
Login it.
Yes. So it's just simple as that. To enter your house, first you have to unlock your house, unlock your door, same way. So this is the simplest example that I could come up with. But in technical form, and on a technical aspect, there are multiple dependencies, from the development point of view, from the functionality point of view. So we have to have an order even in development, how we do the programming. Okay, so that is maintained, and as per estimation, like, okay, this work might take more, or this work might take less amount of time, and this is as per customer priority, then we can take this up. So in short, in this release, we work as per the priority, order, and estimation. Okay. And now this is the universal picture of software development life cycle, and one of the really good ones, or release management cycle, not only software development life cycle. So what it says is, I'll just start. It says managing. So first you have to like manage, or maybe it will come at the last also. How you manage by planning. So first phase is, you bring your team close, you get all your requirements, you get all the aspects, all the features, like what is the budget, what is the timeline, what the customer wants, what are the resources that we have. So whatever you have, you start the planning. From the planning, the outcome comes as scheduling, that is preparing a timetable. Everybody with me? Yes.
Yes.
Scheduling, everybody is aware. For your exams, you prepare a schedule. For your trips and travels, you prepare a schedule. So same way, for this development, for this release, we are preparing a schedule. Then controlling, then you see, right? Then you see that, okay, is it going as per plan? Is the development happening properly? Is it working properly? Are my deliverables coming on time? Is there any technical challenge? Is there any quality fail? So all that is being checked and controlling. Then once you are developed your work, that comes to testing. See, it's not only that you do something and that is given to the customer. So imagine if you have guests coming over and you're cooking something exotic or something, that requires really good amount of skill. And when you cook that, do you directly serve that to your customer, to your guest, or do you ask, maybe a family member, or do you yourself test that dish first, unless
You
it's something that you offer to God?
We'll test.
Yes, you test it.
Yes.
Why do you test it?
Everything is perfect. Taste everything.
Yes, the salt is proper, the spices are good, whatever, it is cooked properly. So same way, see guys, trust me, there is nothing out of the world in any professional setup. What you do in real life on daily basis, that is what you do in office. Always remember this. So yes, you, once the program is complete, programming is done, you do the in detail testing, and once testing is completed, that goes to deployment. Now deployment is something, can you see this rocket? That means you are handing over the work to the customer. You're giving your baby to them, like, okay, we have completed your work, this is your website, this is your application, this is your mobile application, please use it, and please give us feedback. And then again, towards the managing means, okay, you have done this release, now look at the documentation, look at what have you learned, how it went, what you could have done better. And then again, have all that documentation for the next plan. Is it clear? Any doubt in this release planning cycle? And by the way, it's a cycle. It just keeps on continuing. Any doubt, guys?
No.
No.
Prerna, I have a question, Prerna.
Yeah, Dev, go ahead.
You know, when you started off with that in Agile, the quality, quality matters in the sense that your efforts are being valued. I want to focus on that. Just one question on that. Have you experienced that during the sprint, you did everything right? For example, all the agile processes were being followed. Scrum Master was able to remove the impediments, and everything was done. However, at the end of the sprint, you are not able to release the feature for whatever reason, and so I wanna have you experienced that, or
Yes.
how do you
Yes.
so let's say this, for example, dependency, right? That feature is dependent on something like let's say API transfer or integration, and because of that you're not able to release that feature. How would you
Yes.
deal with it?
Yes.
Can you just
So,
sorry.
yes. So this is very recently, personally experienced this in my work. So again, it is on very much on similar ground. So basically, everything was ready. All the development, testing, everything was done. Even I would say, engaging party, we have got sign off from other stakeholders for their testing, and we gave the code, or we gave the raw files to the development team for deployment. Somehow, due to database issues, there was some connectivity issue over the weekend, because generally all the deployments are scheduled for Saturday mornings or Sunday early mornings, because then it would not affect the market, or it would not affect the users, and there is a downtime taken. Somehow it just didn't work. There was some database issue, there was some database lock that appeared to happen, or deadlock it was there, and trust me, the tech team was that, but it did not work. So as a team, as a responding team, we had to send a notice. Sorry, I would say, in as a formal communication to all the stakeholders, that due to, and then trust me, you have to give the reasons, because not everyone is gonna just take a no as an answer. So whatever, due to database connectivity issue, or whatever issue, if you want to give some specific details, you can mention. That could not be done. Or sometimes what happens, the testing fails, and in my current operations team, we check for all the features that are being completed or not. So in that, we found some of the functionality is not working as per the planned process, or as per the expectation. Then we don't give a sign off. Then because of the sign off failure, the release doesn't go. So trust me, it is more common than it sounds, and it does happen. I'm not saying it's a daily affair, but yes, many a times, where even when everything works fine, everything is picture perfect, but your release doesn't happen. And this is generally internal release. Uh, Final customer release or bigger releases, that also does happen, and that's actually a very bad show. But then if you have a genuine reason, if you have a genuine concern, you can put it forward, and you can get an agreement, and you can push this release, or delay it for a couple of days or hours, and you can try to do it again, and it generally gets successful by then.
Yes.
Does it answer
So
your question, Dave?
yeah. So would it be looked as, or I know we don't get micromanaged, but would PO like get offended, or because the time is wasted, right? The sprint is wasted, and PO has to
So
answer the stakeholder. Yeah.
yeah, definitely. It's not only PO, the entire team is answerable because you're working, but PO stands as a product owner, stands as a mediator or as a medium. Yes, we are absolutely answerable. But see, on professional setup, there is nothing personal when we talk about getting offended, or getting insulted, or getting accounted. See, if you have not worked on something and it is your mistake, then definitely you will be asked questions. But then again, it's a team collaboration, right? So a sprint failure is generally for everyone, it's not for only one person. Because
Okay.
it was not the only one product owner who did not do something. No, it was maybe a technical challenge, it was maybe testing failure, it was maybe a functionality, and trust me, it really often happens a lot. I'm not saying it happens in every release, but there are chances. Now, many times what happens, we did not and it actually happened with us. Once a developer who was the primary resource to work on something, who was on a planned leave, and his direct immediate boss had fallen sick, and they were our primary contacts for the deployment, and they really had other newbies who were not aware about the process. Then you just postpone that release, and it was an unforeseen event. Somebody falling ill is not something that you foresee, right? Or you assume. So yes, these things happen, and then unless there is any major concern, it is agreed upon, though it is marked, okay? It will be always noted that this is a release failure, okay? There will be a date, you will cross that date and you will add a new date to it. So that record will always be there. So I'm not saying it goes without notice, but then it does happen and it is agreed upon because it is the way life is. It's fine. There's nothing, no one will come and catch your collar if that doesn't happen, or nobody dies out of it. And that's my statement when I try to calm somebody down. So yes, but then you have accountability for it, and you are answerable for it as a team. Okay, Dev, anybody else?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I think I've taken a lot of time, so I've just go ahead and okay. I think we have also covered this. Guys, do you need any explanation on iteration? We have covered iteration as well. Repetition of same. Yes. Guys, you remember iteration here? I mean, you guys are not saying anything. It's really a question mark. We learned about iteration, right? So every smaller duration, we are releasing something. Like a sprint is an iteration. I gave an example. And year is an iteration. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes.
Yes.
Yes.
So same way, your planning, development, acceptance, testing is an iteration. Okay, it's as simple as that. It's actually very much similar to your this, but this was from release point of view. This is from development point of view. So again, it is an iteration, and I think daily stand up again we covered. What happens in daily meetings? What you have to answer? What I did earlier, 8 hours. What I'm planning to do in next 8 hours. And any particular roadblocks? Yes. Yes. No.
Yes.
Any user stories? Yes. See, you can stop me, but that's why I gave so much of time on the first slide, because it covered everything that we have to go ahead. Yes. Now comes estimation, and I'll hand it over to Gaurav. Gaurav, are you there? Really sorry for stealing some of your time.
Yes, no problem. So yeah, guys,
Yes.
now Prerna, you can stop your screen share. So guys, now everyone, please pay very, very close attention, because what we are going to learn is something really needs your high level of concentration. Okay, so this is to everyone: Aparna, Richa, Geeta, Jubran, Kajal, and Dev. So I'm going to share my screen. Before I quickly share my screen, is that I have a quick question, and then I will follow the continuation. Okay, so let me know if you all can see my screen. So I believe everyone can see my screen. Yeah?
Yes.
Say yes quickly. Yeah.
Yes.
Now,
Yes.
did we again go through this slide in detail about today as well? You had to learn this. I mean, did you demand to learn again this slide? Just wanted to check. Geeta, Aparna, Risha, everyone else. You need to be responsive and highly responsive, because otherwise you will have to stay back for something extra minutes. And the question is to all of you: Kajal, Jubran, Richa, did you guys go through again this slide today as well? Just want a quick check.
No.
No?
No,
Okay,
no.
great. Brilliant. Thank you so much. Now, let's understand what it is telling is that all about planning and estimation. Okay. We were just looking at release. So as a part of release, I just want to tell you that how release happens. So this circle you started knowing is all about the deployment. Okay, here we learn about the deployment. Okay, how deployment happens. As a Scrum Master, you should be knowing this very, very much. Okay, so I'm going to explain that. And in case you can answer this way in any question, in any technical interview or in any technical question, you are going to impress your interviewer like anything. So that I'm going to cover today. Okay. So first, what exactly happened whenever so coming back to again another circle, okay, this circle, okay, what exactly you do that, you understand the statement of work. Requirement comes from client. From whom? Who gives the requirement? Client. What he does that, he talks about the high level vision. Okay, there is a way to write the vision. Okay, and this is how you can translate using the crossing the charts from this Geoffrey Moore's book. Okay, he has given this way that how you can define your vision. So you are writing so that you are able to understand what exactly customer wants. Now that larger vision broken down into multiple roadmap, that what all items in every phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 customer wants. When it is understood in phase 1, there could be the multiple releases where the release will have the assigned dates. Okay, when release is the assigned date, it means that whatever the software and the group of modules or component what you have developed, what you are going to is that you are going to deploy in a way after testing is passed, so that even customer can use. With me so far, everyone?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah. So now when you're deploying that, and this continuous deployment is has to continue to go on. Okay. So how you define that this is always in continuity. So understand this importantly. What I'm going to do is that quickly when customer is talking about, so most of the time what happens is that in most of the company there are monthly releases. There could be the weekly release, daily release, and so on. But in most of the company, there are monthly release. What kind of release?
Monthly.
Monthly release. So if we call it as a sprint or say release, okay, you call it as a release. So it could be, say, for example, your next release is in the month of July. Okay, July. So this is the July 2025. Then what could be the next release? If it is monthly release, everyone?
July, August.
August.
Okay.
Okay. August 25. Okay. September 25, right? This is
Yes.
the monthly release. So what is going to happen is that just before monthly release, what happens? Your technical release has been announced. Say, for example, the date was given was what for technical release? Say, for example, it was 20th July. What was the release date?
20th
20th.
July.
20th July. Okay. So what happens for any before you understand this technical release date, what you need to understand. Okay, you need to understand that before any technical release, there is a code freeze date. What is code freeze date? What do we mean by code freeze date? Code freeze date means that before technical release happen, developer cannot check in any extra codes into the ongoing development, ongoing what do you call coding. Okay, so when we decide that when is the code freeze date, so generally what happens, it is always 3 days prior to that. So what will be the code freeze date over here? Quickly tell.
3 days prior to.
Yeah, 3 days prior to technical release date. So what will be the code freeze date over here? Tell me quickly, faster.
20.
Is 3 days before 20th July is now 13 July. 3 days, sorry, 17 July, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Now, just before a week, what is going to happen is that after your technical release is finalized, date is finalized, code freeze date is finalized, there will be ready for release date where stories will be rolled out. Means those user stories will be finalized, to which we call it as RFR or ready for release date. What do we call it as?
Ready for release date.
Ready for release date. Okay. And this ready for release date is generally 1 week prior to the technical release date. So what will be the ready for release date here? 1 week prior?
What is 10?
Tell me quickly.
10.
1 week prior to technical release.
13.
13 July. Okay, good. Wonderful. Now, before technical release date is announced, what happens is that your product owner keeps on coming with some extra features. What he wants to do is that he wants to tell you that when new user story can be updated into the source. Okay, so you can call it as last date to add to the source code or the user story. Okay, source code, the user story. With me so far?
Yes.
Yes.
User story. So what happens is that this date is become 1 month prior to your technical release date. So what will be the add to source? Okay, source code. So what will be the last date to add to source code to user story?
June
What will be the
June 20th.
so
Prior.
June? It will become June.
June 20th.
Yeah, June 20th. Okay. Now, what will happen is that now before this is done, it also happens that last date has to be announced to add into Epic. So that last date has to be last date to add to Epic. Okay, add to Epic will be always 7 days prior to last date to source code to add to user stories. Okay, if 7 days earlier, it means that it becomes 37 days prior to technical release. So what happens is that it will become your what will be the date, the 7 days before, 13th June. Okay, with me so far? Now, these data has been finalized. Sometimes it may happen that sometime some work is not done. At the last moment, it is your RFR is changing. 2 days are here and there going on. Reason being is that either some extra work has come or coders has not done the right work. And sometime due to certain reason, what is going to happen? You need to, you are seeing that you are not going to meet the deadline. In that case, what happens? In that case, there is a board in every organization to which we call it as a CCB board. What do we call it as?
CCB board.
Yeah, this is called as a change control board. So what happens is that this is the leadership where you need to reach out as a Scrum Master. You need to fill the form and tell that, okay, these are the problem and we are seeing that we are overlapping the dates and all. How you can help us to overcome that date? Can we have an extra date or something like that? Then they have to have a talk with the business and all, and then they will give you the permission further. Otherwise, by your own self, you cannot do any changes until unless CCB intervention is not coming. Understood?
Yes.
A very key information I have shared with you right now. Yes, no?
Yes.
Okay, quickly. Now, that this part you have understood. Before that, in the previous slide, what you have understood, not only just the daily stand-up, also how user stories are written as a icon, so that and who, what, and why. We have given you the a set assignment as well to write the user story. You remember that, everyone? Translate the user stories into from the table to written user story. You remember?
Yes.
Yes. No? Yeah. So that was your assignment, and acceptance criteria. There is a format to write, given, when, then. Okay. I had given the example of this as well. Now coming back over here, what happens before even sprint planning meeting? You need to understand that every single time backlog health has to be. When we say backlog, what do we mean by backlog? What do we mean by backlog?
It's the requirement.
Unfinished work.
Yeah, unfinished work. This is in to do. So it has to be groomed frequently. Okay. And what happens is that whatever the sprint whatever in the sprint you have, you are making sure the backlog items are being groomed. And when backlog items are being groomed, there only you get to understand that how much time you are going to give. But generally in sprint planning meeting, what happens? You need to give your estimation as well. So to give the estimation of a work, there are multiple techniques we are going to look at it. So very first technique is called as what you are looking at it is called as planning poker technique. What it is called as?
Planning
Come
poker.
on. Planning poker. Yeah, planning poker are the just look like a poker game. Okay. So what exactly you need to do is that you have to define a baseline user story. What do you need to define?
Baseline.
Baseline user story, and you have to understand the complexity of that work, and every user story will be given complexity with the unit of story pointing. With the unit of what?
Story pointing.
Story pointing. So a baseline user, say for example, your one user story says that I want to log in as a user, as a unregistered user. I want to log in using mobile number and OTP so that successfully I can get into the UI of the fly Agile Airlines. Okay, this is one of the user story. Now you will just identify on the complexity basis how much minimum user story you are going to give. So and every time user story pointing is given into the Fibonacci series. In what series?
Fibonacci series.
Fibonacci series. How do you define a Fibonacci series? How do you write? What is the sequence of Fibonacci series?
It's a multiple of.
Who remember that? Like prime number, like even number, odd number, we have the Fibonacci number. So how do you define Fibonacci number?
It's multiple of 3.
No.
I forgot actually. Sorry.
Okay. Who remember that? Richa, Fibonacci
Yes.
series, could you help?
Yeah, it's the same which you have on screen, right? 1, 2, 3, 5, 8, 13. This
Yeah.
is
So what is the
Fibonacci.
logic behind that?
I think there's some algorithm behind that.
Okay. So anyone else? Dave, will you be able to tell me how do we define the Fibonacci series?
It is 1 plus 2 is 3, 3 plus 2 plus 3 is 5.
Yes, so it is always the addition of the two predecessor. So if you are starting with 0 and then going to 1, the next number will be what?
1.
1. Then what will be the next number?
2.
2. Then what will be the next number?
3.
3. And what will be the next number?
5.
Now what Richa said, that exactly how it looked like over here. Now you need to understand that the user story definition, how to write a user story definition. Say before that even you need to understand this doesn't make any sense, right? Because this is 0 and 1, because the continuation of 1, 2, 3 is over here already, right? So one thing is you need to understand that when you are defining or giving any complexity in the story pointing, you have to start with the 1, 2, 3. And just how did you reach to 1? I gave you the example. Okay, got it? Yes, no, say yes if you understood what I said.
Yes.
Yeah, super.
Yes.
Now you need to understand this thing very with the focus, that if you have understood how you are giving the story point to user story, you also follow what criteria to write the user story. How do you define a user story? On what criteria? Go ahead. How you define a user story? On what criteria?
Invest.
Okay, invest. The S of the invest says that it has to be sleekest, it has to be the smallest. And when you are defining and giving the user story pointing, and if any user story is crossing the 13 user story point, it means it is becoming more complex, and it is your moral duty to further simplify this user story. With me so far?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Now the user story which I told you with the mobile number and OTP login one. Say for example, what happens is that your coder gave 2 user story point. Okay, your tester gave 1 user story point, and architect gave again 2 user story point. Totally, we have gotten the 5 user story point, right? 5 user story point. So if this is the baseline, and top of that, again, it may happen that for the next user story, depending upon this, you will define what will be the story pointing for the next user story. So this is how you are going to define the story point for every user story. Now, this is very crucial. You need to understand is that now you are defining the user story. 1 will have the 5 story point, user story 2 will have the 13 user story point, and user story 3 may have the again 3 user story point, and so on. what industry is getting misled by? Generally, you will see they say that, okay, if it is 5 user story point, what it is going to be in number of hours? The question itself says that, tell me how many kilometer it is in 1 liter, and what you will give the answer? What will be the answer? How much kilometer it is in 1 liter?
1,000.
Milliliter.
No, this
It's
is
wrong.
the wrong
Wrong.
question in itself.
It doesn't work.
Yeah, so what industry is trying to do is that whatever the velocity or whatever the items or the work item you have taken is, unit is story point. Okay, it is the item of the work. It is not the capacity, is the velocity. It is what, everyone?
Velocity.
It is the amount of work, and amount of work, it is being measured in story point, and it cannot be calculated in terms of hours. Most of industry will ask, but with interviewer you are not going to argue. Then I am going to tell you how exactly you can define it. So pay very close attention. Say for example, now if you understood this, how you are defining the complexity? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah. Now, anyone said no over here? Okay, I believe no's are there. So now what is going to happen is that in physical setting, every team members are given or distributed the cards. And for every user story, Scrum Master asks them to vote out, and they have to show their card. So first they will throw their card, and it won't be visible. When all the team member have thrown their card, then the Scrum Master or product owner says that you need to now show. And when everyone shows that, and for one user story, if everyone reach to the consensus, when I say consensus, it means that when we see that everyone has almost quoted or almost rated the same story point, then this user story complexity is defined with the same common using common story point. But it may happen that at the first round it is not going to reach to any consensus. Someone has shown 5, someone might have shown 3, someone might have shown 13. Possible? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So what Agile says that let's repeat it until you reach to the consensus, but not more than thrice. Okay, so 3 times you repeat that, and what you do is that after that you can reach to the story pointing complexity definition by drawing the average of the maximum number of the story points. Say for example 8, 5 and 13, and there are more 3 and 2. What I'll do, I'll pick the last 3 and I'll draw the average of it, and then I will stabilize into that. So that is one way. Second is that you can take the average of all, and third way is that you can take the maximum one, but generally we don't take the maximum one. So this is how you are stabilizing the complexity of a user story. Now you need to understand, it happens in the physical setting. In virtual setting, what is going to happen, there is a planningpoker.io is the website. There you can go as a Scrum Master. You will have the multiple teams names are written, and for every user story you will be asking the team member to pick the card, and they will be picking the card, and then it will be showed when it is announced. Okay, so online also there is a tool on which you can play this planning poker. Understood, everyone? Yes, no? And there are n number of such multiple tools. Are you getting my point? Richa, Kajal,
Yes.
Dev, Aparna, Ponu, Gita? Yeah, everyone.
Yes.
Jubran?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, Gaurav.
You need to be responsive. Now, understand, we have made it towards the story pointing. We understood the release as well. Now we need to understand, say for example, the capacity too. How we are going to define the capacity? For that, I'm going to tell you a very easy work like this. Say for example, you have total how many members in your team? As per Scrum guide, it should be less than 10 or up to 10. Yes? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yeah, this is what our Scrum guide says. And this is what going to happen is that, say for example, all right, so what we are going to do is that here team name. Okay, team name. Okay, and here team 1, sorry, member 1, member 2, and so on. Okay, fine. Member 2, member 3, and so on, right? Member 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Now, out of seven, what is going to happen? The actual executor are how many? How many executor? So tell me 3 common names that you know that they are going to be there. In the any team, 3 common member will be always there. Tell me their accountability, tell me their position.
Product owner.
Okay. It is going to be, first could be the product owner, right?
Yes.
Yeah, who
Dev
else?
lead. Dev lead.
Okay.
Development team.
Okay, who else? It is going to be there. Dev lead, not necessarily dev lead will
Develop
be
team.
there. I can have dev as well.
Yeah.
Okay, coder as well. Yeah.
Scrum
So
Master.
not, yeah. Who else has to be
Tester.
there?
Tester.
Tester will be there. Okay, fine. So we will
Scrum
have
Master.
the tester. Okay, Scrum Master will be there. Of course, Scrum Master will be there. Who else will be there? Who else will be there?
BA.
BA will be there. Right. Great. And we will have one tester, one dev, and we may have one architect, say, for example, right? Now, understand. This is M5. Okay. This is M5, member 5, and this is a M6, right? Yes, no?
Yes.
Now, what happens is that actual executor are not these 3. These 3 are not executors. Actual executors are these 3. Okay. So, how many team members we have?
Tester, development, and update 3.
Tester, developer, and say, for example, we will also add one more. Okay, on the safer side, some senior, okay, who will take the responsibility further for the coaching. Say, for example, we have one supervisor. I will just call him Dave Lead only. Okay, just randomly I'm picking up. Otherwise, we can go ahead with this. So we have total 7 members, I said, and out of 7, we have now 4 people are actual executor, right? M4, M5, M6, and M7, right? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. Now understand. I said, what is the sprint duration? What is sprint duration generally?
4 weeks.
Maximum?
4 weeks.
Maximum 4 weeks. And minimum?
1 week.
Okay. Minimum 1 week, from 1 day to 1 week. But in ideal scenario, what happens is that ideal, it can be how much? It can be 2 weeks. With
2
me so
weeks.
far?
Yes.
And guys, I see that we are reaching to the time. Can you give 5 minutes extra? The question is to everyone.
Yes.
Yeah? Richa, Ponnu, Dev, Aparna, Jubran,
Yes.
Kajal. Yeah? Okay. Can I have your 4 minutes extra for 5 minutes? Yes?
Yes.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you. Now, understand is over here that I said that these are not actually executor, and your sprint is how long? Your sprint is 2 weeks. 2 weeks long. How long?
2
2
weeks.
weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks. Now, 2 weeks means how many days?
10
10
days.
days.
10 days.
10 days. So your sprint is 2 weeks and you say that it is 10 days. Now, you understand this very, very clearly that it is 10 days. Okay, just give me a second. Let me write on something over here from where I can write. Okay, I'll insert some shape. Okay. I don't see that. Okay. So now here you see that sprint is of 2 weeks and total days are how much?
10 days.
10 days, right?
days.
2 weeks and is equal to 10 days.
10 days.
So now what you are going to do is that for 10 days, and these people, how long they are going to work every single day? These people
8
are
8 hours.
they are going to work 8 hours. And say for example, so 8 hours will be their available time. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. So in fact, in some companies, they work for 9 hours. Okay. Yes or no?
Yes.
Do you have any idea?
Yes. Sometimes.
So as total working hours is 9 hours. Okay. 9 hours each. Okay. Arre yaar. Just give me a second. Total working hours are 9 hours each. Okay. 9 hours, 9 hours, and 9 hours. But in reality, the available hours will become how much?
5 hours.
Available hours is 8 hours if you consider the 1 hours of mandatory break. Okay. Again, they are available for 8 hours, but are they going to work exactly 8 hours?
No.
No.
No. So we will also need to identify the dependent hours. Okay. Dependence hours could be where they will be attending some meetings, there will be having the Scrum ceremonies and all, and some discussion, random discussion and all, some dependency, some uncertainty, or some office rituals or office plan. HR has called for some items. So it may happen that exactly they are not working for these many hours. They may be depending hours could be, say for example, maximum 3 hours daily. Okay, dependent hours means they are doing some other activity. Now, how much hours will be their
5.
productive
5.
hours in that
5.
case?
5.
5 hours.
So productive hours will become the 5 hours, right?
Correct.
5 hours, 5 hours, and 5 hours, and 5 hours. Now, so if in a week they are working every day, if they are working for 5 hours, it means that for 10 days, how many hours they are going to work?
50.
50 hours. Yeah,
Yes.
50 hours. Everyone will work for 50 hours. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So if they are working every day for 50 hours, what will be the total capacity of this team in this sprint? 1, 2, 3, 4. Total capacity will be in terms of person hours. People call it as a man hours, but I personally don't call it as a man hours. Otherwise it will become the gender bias. So feel free to call it as a person hours. So how many total person hours it would be?
200.
200 hours. Again, when you are understanding if this is going to be 200 hours, but on the safer side, you understand a focus factor. Most of the company work on the focus factor where they see that the productive hours of the team, that how much they can pay attention to without any blocker or without any deviation from their goal, and they consider it as a 80%. Okay, when they consider as 80%, it means that they add 20% buffer to the total capacity. So when you add 20% buffer, how many hours it will become? How many hours it will become, everyone? You know or you don't know?
240.
100.
Okay. So what will be the 20% of 200? It will be total 240 hours. Yes or no?
Yes.
Yeah. If you'll calculate, it will become 240 hours. So your 240 hours, including buffer, it has become the capacity. Now, if it has become your capacity, and you define that every single member has chosen for different user stories. Say for example, they are taking 5 user story. Okay. In this sprint, for 10 days, we have planned to take 5 different user story, and for every team member on an average has given for all the 5 user story, the total story pointing is 40. Okay, how many?
40.
40 story pointing. So if with the capacity of 240 hours, if team is able to give the result, or team is able to produce the work of 40 story point, then for now, what I'm going to say is that this is something personal. This calculation you don't have to show to your interviewer. Okay. And you can, when you need to answer that, when the right question come, you can calculate internally, and then you can give the answer. When you will see that, what you can see is that considering this point, because story pointing may vary in real time scenario, everyone can give the different estimation. And here you are seeing that this is 40 story point. It may happen tomorrow you are finding the capacity is more and velocity is less, or so say for example, story pointing is less and team is producing instead of 40, they are ready to commit for the 50 story point. Possible? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So what in that scenario you will be calculating arithmetically, and you will understand here that for 240 hours, if you are producing 40 user story or 40 story point, or for 40 story point it takes around 240 hours, then for one story point how long it will take? Of course 240 upon 40, it means that 6 hours. Yes or no? So this is internally you have calculated, and this will continue to vary. We are not going to fix it, because this calculation I have taught you. Okay, this calculation you are not going to teach to your interviewer. Are you getting everyone? Yes, no?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, like this, like you have gotten that how story sizing is done using Fibonacci series, planning poker I completed with that. Likewise, you have something to identify the complexity, to which we call it as a t-shirt sizing, where every team member will quote it as a whether this story point is extra small, small, medium, large, or extra large. Likewise, you have another technique where on this on the whiteboard there are user stories are written, and on every user stories team are supposed to give a dot voting, to which we call it as a dot voting. What do we call it as?
Dot
Dot
voting.
voting.
Dot voting. And on every sticky note, team will go and give their dots, and then they finalize that how many dots are defining the complexity of given user story. Now, this is one way. Second, team generally wants to be given effort in terms of person hours only. So what you can do is that when you go on based on the experience, to which we call it as Delphi technique, this is how you are going to give in terms of hours. Okay, you are going to give user story in terms instead of story pointing. Generally it should not be done, but in case any organization wants it that quickly, let's do it in terms of hours, then you understand one baseline, how long it took the effort for doing that in the past. If all the mature team member is there, then you can go ahead with the Delphi technique and you can give the estimation in terms of hour. Everyone understood? Say yes if you got it, whatever I said.
Yes.
I understand you need to go through it again to sink in detail, right? Yeah. So all the estimation technique I have done. Now, from the next week, what is going to happen is that from next Monday, you are going to learn in very easy manner all the things related to business analyst, all about business analyst. So far, we have taken the foundation work as well as the Scrum Master. Whatever additionally you have learned over here, you are not going to learn it anywhere. Every single time, in every single batch, new improvisation is going to come every single time. Right? Any questions so far?
No.
If no question, I want to invite quickly every single person to say one word that comes in your mind. Let's start with Kajal. Kajal, what do you feel like saying? I know I was super duper fast because I needed to save time, but how do you feel? What do you feel like saying?
Today I've learned about agile planning and estimation of 5 point.
Okay, wow, wonderful. Thank you so much, Kajal. Let's hear from Apanna. Apanna, what do you feel like saying?
Lot of concepts.
Lot of
Okay.
concept, but were you able to relate?
Um,
Tried
I-
understanding it
yeah,
or not?
yeah. I could.
You could? Okay,
More.
thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much for sharing that. Mostly you understood. Let's hear from Richa. Richa, what do you feel like saying? One word that comes in your mind.
Yeah, very informative on story points and story sizing.
Yeah. Informative is the word for you. Thank you so much,
Yeah.
Richa. What do you feel like saying? Geeta, what do you feel like saying? One word that
Yeah, roadmap, how to attain the vision, and also how to do an estimation. All three.
Yes. So whatever you have learned is super premium towards the second half you have learned. Okay. You are not going to get that level of understanding in any of the class that wherever I have heard from and wherever I have gone, no one teaches at that depth of level. So that is for sure. Let's hear from Gibran. Gibran, what do you feel like saying?
Yeah. Moving from theory to figures, working with figures
Okay, theory to figures. Thank you so much, Gibran. Dave, what do you feel like saying? I know it's your repeat, but still it's new for you, I believe.
Yeah, I struggle a little bit even previous session about this particular topic. However,
Okay.
it's very pragmatic, and I think I have better and clear understanding now.
Oh, right. Better and clear understanding. Thank you so much, Dave. So whenever you feel anyone feels like, okay, you are not able to understand, only one navigation point is that asking question that can take you towards the simplicity, towards understanding. Thank you so much, Dave, for quoting that. Let's hear from Ponu. Ponu, what do you feel like saying?
Today I learned agile planning with the simple examples with the detailed explanations.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Ponu, for quoting that. And with this, we are going to meet again in the next session on Monday. Please submit your assignments, guys. And thank you so much for staying little extra and little late. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Good night, everyone. Good night, you all. Have a wonderful week ahead. Bye. Thank you.